Hello, Figays. My name is Monica Leana, where I talk about books while I put on my makeup. My makeup is already on, but I wasn't actually planning on doing this video. I woke up like an hour before I actually usually wake up, so I have an hour to spare, and I figured, why not just do this video? Because I already had it lined up, so just do it. It doesn't matter. The point of this video is that I'm going to talk about either some what I would consider a little bit campy and a little bit ridiculous thrillers, because I love a good thriller. 100%. I love a good thriller. I love a good dark thriller. I love a good detective story. I love a good plot twist. I love twist. But there's times when my brain can't take that, and I just want something either just like ridiculous to the point where it's like, yeah, sure, that would happen, but it was a good time, or just like non-serious thrillers. So I concocted a list, and this is not family drama thrillers. I'll do a whole nother video of like family dramas. This is like just, yeah, nothing to do necessarily with families, but ridiculous nonetheless. So let's begin. Nanny Needed. This one is about a woman who, she has a lot of debt. Her mother, basically, not her mother, her aunt had, I think, cancer or something like that. So like, you know, trying to keep her alive, went into medical debt, and now her aunt is dead. She lives in New York City and is trying to make it with her new fiance, and like, they're drowning in debt. So she ends up seeing a billboard that's saying nanny needed in her building. So she goes to the interview. Come to find out, these are like rich people, rich people, and they're like, hey, we will pay for everything. We'll pay for housing, bills, we'll pay all your debt like right now if you only sign this NDA and be a nanny. I'm not gonna say any more, but that's where it starts. Just remember, rich people and NDA. What could go wrong? Like It Never Was. I actually talked about this one a little bit in my 2024 new releases that you may have not heard of, but I wanted to put this one on the list because it is ridiculous. It's about a woman, well, actually it starts off as a girl wearing a monkey suit to scare her friend that's gonna drive by. Like, I think they're like in theater, and her friend kind of made fun of her, so she was gonna get back to her, and she was like, I'm a, scare her. Well, she scared her, all right, to the point where she got into a car accident and literally almost died and got all maimed up and everything like that. She never told anybody. She did not admit that she did this. She just disappeared. And for 10 years, she was like kind of running around, trying to like find herself, trying to run from the guilt. Well, she's a little bit of a aloof character, and she's now changing it up, and her lawyer dad is like, hey, you can come here, I'll get you a job, you just cannot leave for at least a year. And she's like, okay, that's fine, I need a new start, blah, blah, blah. She goes to improv class because she wants to do improving. And who is there but the girl that she maimed? And she is so guilty that she starts to think that like things are happening to her because of this, but it's like, is it her messing with her? Or is it her guilt? Wild ride. The next one is Girls and Their Horses. I'm not really gonna explain this one too much. Just know it's a thriller about horse girls. I feel like that's all the fuck you need to know. Horse squirrels. That's all you need to know. The Stranger in Her House by John Mars. Another one that I talked about slightly in the 2024 releases, but I'm putting it on this list because it just goes on and on and on. It goes from like being what you would consider somewhat of a like domestic thriller to like just straight up action and plot twist after plot twist, to the point where like at the end, I swear there's like 2 or 3 different plot twists, and you're like, okay. But yeah, so let me tell you real quick what it's about. It's about a woman who is taking care of her, I think, slightly elding mother, and there's like a service that comes around that's like helping elderly, like, clean out their gutters, do their lawns and everything like that. So this man comes around and he starts getting really, really close close to the mom. And then it goes from there. Like I said, there is a slight twist about third way through that changes this book completely. So it's like, no one talk about it anymore. Just know that like this book just all over the place. It's ridiculous, 100%. Like, is it plausible? I guess so, but like it's ridiculous. So go in knowing that. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. And I'm sorry if I say some names and I don't. I apologize. Some names I just know off the top of my head, and some of them I know I probably can't say them correctly, so I just don't. But this one is another one that I'm sure you heard this one thing, but like this book, to the point where like I actually don't know what the ending is. I think I would have to go back and actually figure out what exactly happened at the end. But pretty much it's about a woman who has a podcast, and another woman is like, hey, we have the same birthday. Like I think year, month, and date. Like we just have the same birthday. We're birthday twins. Like we should do a podcast about that. And they do. And she's like, oh yeah, cool. And she starts to tell her about her life. And it is a wild ride. Like this woman she wears all denim. Apparently, like that gets talked about a lot. She has denim like everywhere, from like her shoes to like her bag and everything, just denim. And she starts to just tell her story. And it's like, is it believable? Is it true? Is it not? And then she gets really obsessed with like the podcast lady. And it's just a situation of just like single white female on steroids. Pretty much is what this book is about. So, and then the next one is The Last Word. Another popular book, but I'm definitely gonna put it on here because it's literally about a man who gets pissed off at a woman making a 1-star review because his book sucked, and you know, you're allowed to do that. And he comes in ninja style, just literally talking and being like, I am the knight and I will get this person. Like the whole entire time when you're listening to him, he is like a character in his own mind. And another one that like, it almost had too many twists at the end. It was just like, oh no, this happened, this happened, this happened. And any book that has like that many twists to me are just like, I guess they're good, but at the same time they get very ridiculous because it's like, how many times are you gonna like twist it on me? But yeah, it's just funny because literally the guy's like ninja all up in your ear. The Devil Ecstasy. I did talk about this in the translated list, but same thing. I'm gonna talk about it because it's so freaking ridiculous. It is about a man, this is a manga by the way, a man who is scared of girls with big boobs. He is terrified of girls with big boobs and has never been with a woman because of that, because I guess everybody has big boobs in this world. And his friend wants to go to a sex club, this place that like opened up. And he goes and he ends up finding out there's one girl with like little bitty boobs. So he asks for her and he's super nice to her. And she realizes like, damn, like, okay, you gotta go. You're like, you're super nice. I don't want to do anything to you because this club is a succubus club. And literally they just drain the men. And she doesn't want to do that. And the whole 2 mangas, because it's only 2 mangas, is literally them falling in love and trying to save the world from the succubi. It is ridiculous, but a good time. So Happy for You. Oh, this one is about so they're friends. They've been friends for like years, I think like childhood. And one is very opposed to marriage and one really wants to get married. So during their their wedding trip, like their wedding weekend, she's technically the bridesmaid, but she's like, I don't even know why I'm the bridesmaid. You know I don't like this, but like whatever, I'm gonna be a bridesmaid. And just constant fighting and bickering, and like what ends up happening like around the end, it is just one of those books where it's just like all it is just cattiness back and forth. And I have heard that a lot of people hate the main character. I'm indifferent. Like I do think that she's so righteous and thinks that like, oh, how, you know, the patriarchy and everything. And it's kind of like, girl, get over yourself. If some people want to be happy with getting married, they're allowed to, but that is her opinion. So yes. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. The reason I'm putting him on this list is because it has paranormal activity in it, and that's not a spoiler. People literally talk about that. There is a slight paranormal activity to it, and it's just about a woman who sees a man across the street, what looks like he's killing his wife. And then she just feels determined to figure out what's happening. And like, you know, usually what happens is like, oh, you go over there, and come to find out, it's like, no, what you saw was completely wrong. And she's like, I knew what I saw. And then, like I said, there's like a slight paranormal twist that like, was it really necessary? I mean, sure, no, but at the same time, okay, Riley Sager, you wanted to do something different, so ridiculous. Good Rich People. Oh, I love this one. This one is definitely what I would consider camp, like 100%. This one is camp. It's two POVs. So there's one POV of a rich woman who she married into like a really sick family that like they play this game where they let somebody rent like a section of their house because they have like a big old mansion and everything like that. So they do this thing where they try to be nice and rent to these people, and like they're successful people, like not rich people, but they're successful people trying to grow in the world. So they see this as an opportunity of like, oh, I can be with these rich people and I can grow and everything like that. No, they sit here and they destroy the people, like destroy them. They like find out their secrets and email their bosses. They'll plant like drugs on them. Like they'll do sick things to them. Like that's their whole thing. And this time it's the daughter-in-law's turn. I don't remember if like this is her first time doing it or like she just doesn't do it very often. But like it's a whole thing of like competing of like who you target and how quickly you can make them spiral and stuff like that. And this is her time. So they end up getting somebody, but the problem is she gets switched out with a homeless girl, and the homeless girl doesn't know what is happening. She just thought she got lucky because like they basically misconstrue her from like the other person. So she just takes it. She's like, hey, I'm homeless. Like I'm gonna take what the fuck I want. Like I'm tired of being on the street. Can I have a nice shower and everything like that? And because she grew up on the street, she's not taking their crap the way that they're used to taking it. And it just goes, it's like the whole eat the rich. That's where this goes. It's so good and very ridiculous. Very ridiculous. And this family is very sick. Just One Look. Oh, this is about a woman who just cannot mind her freaking business. So she's a temp at like a legal firm, and her whole job is she's supposed to like scrub emails. So she comes across this email from a husband and a wife, and it's very tender, and she's like, oh, this is so cute, this is so cute. And she ends up getting obsessed with this couple just from their emails, like straight up just gets obsessed with the thing, to the point that she goes to seek this man out and even seek the wife out. And it's like, you know what, I think I could do better. So she ends up becoming pretty much single white female, trying to get this man, being delusional. I don't know why she thought, but she, you know, her emails clearly were towards her, not his wife. For Your Own Good is about a teacher who is kind of a little bit of a dick. I mean, he's smart, but he's almost one of those people that he thinks he's just the smartest and he knows everything, and you know, you need to listen to him and blah blah blah. And if you don't, he'll make little things happen to inconvenience you, and you will not know that it's him. Well, he ends up doing this one day, and domino effects happen. Absolute just crazy domino effects happen, and we'll go from there. But like, yeah, it's just like one thing after another, to the point where one of the like you have a POV that like something happens to her at the very beginning that I was like, wasn't expecting that. So Good Night Beautiful. This book, I feel like just don't try to get reviews or whatever or something like this, because I feel like This book gets compared to another book, and it's very valid that it gets compared to this book, because it pretty much is. But I had a good time with this just because it was like I said, a more ridiculous version of this, and there's a twist about halfway through that I don't think anybody would see if you read it. Like, if you go in completely blind, it will 100% get you. But it's about a couple, and they're a therapist. Like, the guy's a therapist. I don't know what the wife is, but they move upstate and they get into this new house duplex type of situation, I guess. And he has a therapy room that there's a vent, and the neighbor upstairs can hear everything. And this neighbor gets super obsessed and super dependent on like his therapy sessions, and like wants to listen in and wants to hear all the gossip and everything like that. And it just goes from there. Basically, the neighbor gets obsessed and things start happening, and stab. Fashion victim. This one is about a fashion girly who is very obsessed with one girl. She wants to be her friend. She's kind of codependent and everything like that, but she ends up realizing that they're both going towards like the same promotion, and she's pretty sure that she's gonna be the one to get it. So she's like, well, I need to then become this other girl because I worked way too hard. She's not getting this promotion. And it goes from there. It's literally about a fashion girl going crazy. So, and then the last one is The Girl in 6E. Another book that I'm sure everybody's kind of heard about, but like, it's literally about a cam girl being supposedly a serial killer deep inside, because she hasn't actually killed anybody yet. She just feels it inside. So she's barricaded herself into this apartment. She does camming because it's a job that, you ain't got to leave your house or do anything. And she ends up having like wealthy clients, so like she's living good, and she gets everything shipped to her food shipped to her, everything's fine. And one day there's a guy that's like a little bit too creepy, and she ends up doing a little investigating, which, no offense, I don't know why a cam girl is like the greatest at like spying on everybody. Like, I mean, I guess maybe if you have enough time on your hand, but like, this girl is supposedly like a fucking tech whiz and can find all these guys and can blackmail them and all types of stuff just because nobody taught her. Maybe she saw some YouTube videos, but yes, a cam girl becomes basically a vigilante slash sleuth. I thought this book was hilarious, and the shit that the guys say to her when she's camming, I chuckled so much. This book, I don't even think it was supposed to be that funny, but I laughed so hard because of the ridiculous shit that this author put in this book. But yeah, so that's my 15 books of just pure ridiculous, pure camp, pure non-serious thrillers, but good time. Have a good day. Just